You know those kind of words, and look at this amazing medallion. I'd like to start with a quote. It was Baron Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the modern Olympics, who said the following about alpine climbing. He said, "We salute the most beautiful kind of heroism, that which confronts scientifically calculated danger, step by step, without hesitation or sensationalism." There were only 3 Olympic gold medals given out. The first was in 1924 to George Mallory for the 1922 attempt on Everest. George Mallory, of course, attempted Everest 3 times, and he never made it. The second was in 1932 during the LA Summer Games for the first ascent of the north face of the Matterhorn. And the third was during 1936 during the Berlin Olympics. And that was to a woman, Hetty Durnford, for setting an alpine record for women, 7,000 meters. And after that, after World War II, they pulled the gold Olympic medals for mountaineering because it was deemed too dangerous. And yet, that beautiful kind of heroism, which confronts scientifically calculated danger step by step, was just beginning. Those first ascents that we know and love so much would not take place until 1950. Behind me, sorry, let me click this. Behind me now is a picture of K2. K2, as Neil said, is the second highest mountain in the world. It's 8,611 meters. That's 237 lower than Everest. My favorite quote about K2 is from Francis' young husband. In 1878, he came upon K2, 16 miles away, not far from where this picture was taken. And he came upon the mountain, and he said it was a mountain of appalling height. He said it was appalling height. And he said it could be none other than K2. He also said it had a height which could impress a man forever. A height which could impress a man forever. For every 20 people that climb Everest, only 1 climbs K2. For every 4 that climb K2, 1 dies. There have been 3 times as many women who have gone to outer space and have climbed Everest than have climbed K2. So statistically, it's a pretty tough mountain. And those little red spirals that you see at the very bottom, those are simply the tallest buildings in the world. That's what nature and man can do. What man can do is at the bottom in red versus what nature can do behind. Burj Khalifa in Dubai is on the far left. It took me 3 years to get to the top of K2, but each year I got 1 camp higher, and it gave me hope. It gave me hope that one day I could get to the very, very top. And I did it last year, not quite a year, on July 28th. But every year, 1 camp gave me hope that I would get there one day. Because to climb K2, you have to go through a range of hostile forces. What kind of hostile forces? Well, there's length, 6 to 8 weeks minimum. There's logistics. There's a reason why most of the first expeditions were planned by military men. Logistics, 400 kilometers minimum, Islamabad, this is Pakistan, to Skardu, and then 100 kilometers by foot on a glacier, Waltero Glacier, moving 9 tons of equipment with 200 low altitude porters. If you don't have it, you're not going to get it. You're in the middle of nowhere. Objective dangers, once you are at base camp, you've got 8 kilometers high. You've got crevasses, you've got avalanches, and increasingly with climate change, we have falling rock, which causes more deaths and accidents today than it did yesterday. We have technical climbing aspects. They're usually named for the first person who did it, like the Hillary step on Everest. K2 has House's Chimney, named after Bill House, the 1938 expedition. And weather. When somebody says weather, and they're pointing to a mountain like K2, it's generally not nice. So winds are my least favorite. Those are 40 to 80 kilometers. Deep snow, so generally we're breaking trail and rotating. High winds, of course, deep snow. We've got cold temperatures. I like to say 40 below because that's parity with Celsius and Fahrenheit, and therefore, regardless of the nationality, I don't have to explain that. And it can be a really, really tough environment. So those are the types of hostile conditions. And as far as science, people generally say to me, I don't understand what a mountaineer can contribute to science. And at that point, I'd like to remind people where we are. We are at the very, very top of the troposphere. All weather takes place beneath us. Above us is the stratosphere. So mountaineers are perfectly positioned to help scientists understand glaciers and the melting of glaciers, not just from the bottom up or the toes, but from the top down. Scientists need to measure these with boots on the ground. It is the only way that this can be done, and the mountaineers are the people who can do it. We're already there. We can take the samples, we can age those samples, and we can also tell if there's contamination. Oh yes, contamination. Turns out those events, like Fukushima in Japan, don't stay in Japan. They travel in the westerlies in the atmosphere. So we do partner with scientists to get these samples and that data. It's very, very important. And that's probably the most important thing. It's been limited time here today to tell you more, but it's a fascinating mountain. There's 3 years in which to elaborate more on the expedition. It takes place in Pakistan, which has become my favorite country. I am speaking on K2, The Final Conquest, which is October 30th at the SCS Gaucho City, so I would like to invite you back to hear more. Today is really just to say thank you to the SCS, to the council members, and to the Explorer Awards Committee for thinking of me and nominating me for this award. I'm very grateful and honored to accept this. I would also like to say thank you to the SCS and Pakistan, to the World Congress of Overseas Pakistanis, and to the High Commission of Pakistan. Without Pakistan and the support of Pakistan, I could never have been as successful as I was all 3 years. And of course, by the time the second year came around, I cared less about that mountain and more about that country, as I'm sure you will once you visit Pakistan yourself. And finally, to my friends and family who are all here, thank you very much for your support, for believing in me. Even if I doubted myself, you were always supporting and believed in me.